Hi, just a quick run through of how to do the assessment for this. Log in as normal. You can change the profile to Aston University like we normally do, and then where you do the management is all from the course menu. Click on the course menu and then select View Authors. Okay, there. And you get a list of people to mark. I've set up an Excel spreadsheet like so, and you'll see your initials down the side, which tells you the group that you should be marking. So if we take the first person, the selection you need is details, and what will happen then is all of their activity will be returned. Okay. What we did last year is first of all you go straight to the bottom. Okay, and that's what you're going to fill in, what you did well, what you should improve on. Okay, and just above there, there's an example of the number of feedback things have written. At the moment, look, it's saying excellent for everything. That's because the criterion have all been set to 0. So you'll have to be a little bit more sensitive than this is. Okay, so for instance, they're supposed to have done 9 workshops. This person's only done 5, and that's an element that you should check on. Reviewing, they should be doing about 5 a week, 5 hours 45. So she's actually kept up to date fairly well with her reviewing. She's spent a reasonable time in this thing, and her feedbacks are maybe on the short side. Okay, so that gives you some summaries there, and it's also down in this region here. So we're looking for evidence about their peer review activity. Now, for each workshop that they've done, go right to the top again. Okay, it gives you the compendium under review, and then a set of comments that could have been produced. And for each of the rubric elements, the student that you're assessing is highlighted. In this case, in grey. You see, it's not very distinct, is it? But this is the current student. You can always check that by, for instance, at the top here, that's her user number 2746 at the end. And sure enough, when we look at this highlighted one, we see 2746. So that's the comment that this student has made, right? And it's for comparison. You've got the other comments made by a random selection of other people. Well, not quite random actually. It's a very brief one and a very comprehensive result. It picks sort of the range, tries to give you an impression of what the range of responses that people are giving to that particular review and the particular question on it. So in this case, the question is: did the author correctly report the mean and standard deviation, or whatever? You can always look up the original review. Okay, for instance, if I right click and do open link in a new tab, hopefully that will now give us a new tab with that particular review in. Okay, so you can actually see comments that link back to the thing, so you can check what's been going on. Obviously, when the person has produced a huge amount of work like this, it's not possible to go over every single comment. Okay, so what you're looking for is evidence where they have shown statistical insight and accurately identified problems with the target compendiums and gone into the details of the particular statistical tasks that have been highlighted. Okay, and some of the ones that we're most keen on are things like confidence intervals and effect sizes. So you can be a little bit selective about particular workshops you look at. So workshop 4. Now, for instance, this other student here, okay, has produced quite a comprehensive and extensive report, which you can then review to see the kind of thing that's been going on. And once you've looked at a few, it might be worth looking at the workshops again, just to remind yourself what was supposed to be done in these things. This particular workshop itself. So go back, do it again. This workshop, whatever it was. I open that in a new tab. That's this one about comparing different t-tests, you see. And it gives you various links, and of course you can even go further than that. You can check that this person. Remember, you're not assessing the compendium that's under review, but you can check that details have been done correctly if you like to. Okay. So this person here, which is giving the comprehensive feedback, the author includes when the author, they could have compared it to Ferguson's things and so on. So they've found some critical points to remark, which you can then check out with the target review that this is in fact the case. You can then look at a second person, okay, to see if they've got similar comments, and they have. So all of these people are picking up on things that our target person has not really identified. Okay, so they're being very, very sort of broad in what they're saying. They're saying that the interpretation is correct, and they've made justifications. Okay, and they're assessing it as very good. But actually, there's not very much content there. Okay, so this is not. It's not a very. This particular item is not a very strong one. Okay, and then again we see this same approach in this feedback. I say this person is obviously not spending an awful lot of time on this particular one compared to what the other students are doing. This student, for instance, has given a very comprehensive review, and also managed to give people identifiable feedback. Okay, using blogs, which is very good strategy. Okay. Further down. Now here's one where they've done slightly better. Yeah, and that assessment seems to be quite good. And then here we've got a case where we've got a contrast between a student that's produced a very large and comprehensive critique of this example here, okay, and this hasn't been reflected in our target students' response, so they obviously missed quite a lot here, right? So you can review what's going on here briefly. Okay, so they've actually missed quite a lot of things out, but could have gone a bit further. This student claims that this report has incorrectly stated the output of the 2 keys results. Okay, so cross-reference that between the other people. This person claims that they've been reported correctly, so you may have to weigh what's been done here, and then just have a quick check of this report to see what the correct result would be. Okay, so it's quite quick to build up an impression of how good the students are at identifying problems with target reviews. Okay, effectively critiquing what other people have done and providing actually statistical insights, not just sort of comments like the compendium is very good, but supporting that with some kind of statistical evidence. Okay. So once you've made an assessment about what the general quality of the feedback that students are giving, okay, whether it's very detailed, very statistically based and so on, or just sort of vague and wishy-washy and rather not to the point, okay, on top of that you have to moderate the mark that you might give to reflect the total number of workshops and compendiums that they've done altogether. So if you decide that this person's maybe got like an upper 2-2, lower 2-1 kind of region type score, okay, which would be like a 58 or a 62, say, maybe the 62 is a little bit on the generous side, then that would have to be reduced somewhat to reflect also the fact that they've only written half of the workshops, okay, but they have kept up to date with the compendiums quite well. Okay, so wouldn't punish them too much for missing 4 workshops. So they've done more than half of them. Okay, and they've done 2/3 of the reviewing that they're required to do. So then you sort of drop down. You'd make a comment in there, in here, about what they did well in terms of feedback. This one we should point out that they're not really giving very many statistical insights, and then reflect that their effort's been a little bit low, okay, compared to others. But not tragically bad. So this wouldn't be a student that would fail their coursework on this element, and I would be tempted to give this person something like an overall score that would be low 2-2, well, sort of medium to high 2-2 on the sort of feedback kind of level, and then moderated down to a low 2-2, and possibly if you found 1 or 2 more errors, like if they really did miss that problem with the Guidelaines test and so on, you point that out to them, and then give them the 3rd class mark. But I would say err on the side of being generous. I'm also going to send you a Excel spreadsheet that has got examples of the extent to which marks, feedback quality mark should be sort of moderated downwards depending on how many workshops and so on the students are missing. Okay then, that's all. Oh no, it isn't, because you have to put the comments in there, and then also just for safety's sake, copy them into this thing as well. Okay, so put your comments into the boxes on here. Last year, people found it tricky to somehow or other get the comments into these boxes. I don't know why that was now. And I ended up with an extra column here from some folk. But that's okay, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Right, thanks for your help on this. Bye.